Hang on. Okay. So today we want to talk about how to create engaging presentation for your online classroom. To start with, I want to know how sharp you are. How many words can you make from the letters in coffee? COFFEE. How many words you can make with them? Not all of them, maybe some of the letters, but just make a word. One.
B.
Echo.
B, there's no B here.
B.
Fee,
Echo.
very good. Fee, what else?
Echo.
Echo, perfect. Off. Mm-hmm.
What? Oft?
Off, OFF.
Oft. Oh, yeah. Off.
Okay. Come on, guys, you had only 1 minute.
Folk. Big.
CEO.
CEO. Co.
What's that?
Oh, that's the CEO. Yeah. What else? Anything else?
Echo.
Off.
Off, yeah, that's nice. Oh, sorry. So, as you said, faux, for example, cafe, face, yeah,
Face.
yes.
We don't have A.
There's no A here. Coffee. No, yeah, you're right. Face is not correct. Yeah. What about office? Does it work?
No.
We
No
don't have
I.
There's no I. But cafe is a good, huh?
No, we
No,
don't have
no,
A.
no. No C.
Again, we don't have seat. See? That's it. Okay, thank you very much. But that could be
good
the
start.
kind of warm up. Yes. So today we want to start working on synchronous and asynchronous learning environment. Then how to use with technology, flipped classroom, collaborative projects, and platforms, and educational sites for teaching online. How do you start your online classes? What should you do first? The first step is getting to know your platform. Not only you, but also your students. So, what is the chat box? Where is the chat box? What can they do? How can they write? Can they change the font? Can they change the color? How do they turn on their video? Where should they click to have the video? Is it double click or once click? In some platforms, you have to double click on video. But in here, no, just one click. Breakout rooms. What are breakout rooms? And how can they work together in breakout rooms? How breakout room work? Breakout rooms are the rooms that the students can talk together in pairs and groups. Good. And oh, Zahra is here. Hello, Zahra. Good to have you.
Hi, Zahra.
Zahra, can you hear us? Today we are talking about how to create engaging presentation for your online classroom. We cannot hear you, but I hope you can hear us. So continue to what we were talking, pointer. What is the pointer? How to use it? Audio control icon. Turn on, turn it off. How can they talk through their microphone? Interactive whiteboard. Okay, you can, in all platforms, you can give permission to your students. And then how can they draw lines? Where can they type? Also, where is the list of the students? Where can they see how many students or who are in the class? Hands up icon. Okay, where to click? If they have questions, where to click? And video control icon. So all the features You need a session before starting your course, okay? So we say introduction session, something like that. And so I want everybody comes on Monday, for example, on a specific day at a specific time, and you explain and give permission to each one just to check. Then you go one by one with your students. Ellen, you go. Okay, I want you to click on the hands up icon. Very good. Now turn on your video. Okay, now speak up. Or you're in the breakout. Talk to your friends. Just check with all your students. So your students should feel comfortable with the platform. Okay? Number 2, what you're going to do for your online classes, you need to set SMART goals. Okay? So by SMART goals, what do you get? What it means, SMART goals? What kind of goals are SMART goals?
Maybe achievable goals, like being realistic.
Bravo. Thank you. Anything else? Come on.
Visible.
Okay. Thank you.
Maybe it's the last one, you know, the final goal, you know,
Mhm.
the final thing we want to, achieve.
Terminal objective you're talking about?
Terminal, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good job. Thank you. That's it. You can think about each letter for specific characteristics. So S goes for specific, clear, and achievable, of course, and measurable. So we can see, okay, 50% of students learn it. 70% of students learn the objectives, or 10% of students have this problem in the school. They haven't understand it. And it should be realistic. So it's real, as Eileen said. It should be real. Don't be too high, idealistic, which is not achievable. Okay, I want all the students to make dialogues and write 3 paragraphs. Oh, it's impossible in an hour. It's impossible. So be realistic and timely. I see many times in my observations that teachers prepare lots of beautiful, relevant material, but how is it possible in 20 minutes teach all of them? It's impossible. So it should be timely. For 20 minutes, how much material you need to prepare? Maybe you have different plans, plan 1 and plan 2. That's fine. But it's impossible to have both plans in 1 hour. So it should be specific, clear, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Think about terminal objectives. Students will be able to do what? Student will be able to write a paragraph about their last summer vacation. So it is clear and it is achievable because you know how to teach topic sentence, then supplementary sentences, supporting sentences, how to develop a paragraph in an hour. Actually, you need only 20, maybe 20 to 30 minutes to teach it. So that's timely, realistic, achievable, and it is measurable. Because when your student writes a paragraph, you can check and see how well they have done it. And it is specific. It's about last summer vacation. Good? So that is a SMART goals. You need a SMART goals for the whole course. If it's 10 sessions, 15 sessions, what is the final goal after 10 session or 15 session? Also SMART goals for each session. So today, what are they going to study? Today, what are they going to achieve? What are your enable objectives? And terminal objectives. Okay? Any questions, any ideas?
So smart doesn't mean smart.
It is somehow.
It is.
No, it was nice. We always remember that. Good one.
Okay. Now, many teachers believe it is too hard to engage students in online learning environments because there's no control. You cannot, if they turn off their video cam, you cannot see them. What do you think? What's your idea? How can you engage them? How can you increase engagement in your online learning sessions? What do you say?
Once in
Maybe
a
Okay.
while,
I
ask
answer.
them to turn on their camera so they don't sleep.
Okay.
And maybe asking direct questions, such as, for example, Ada, can you please let me know what do you think about this? And then I really know and evaluate if she is paying attention.
Yeah. Or even some small quizzes, not quizzes, but something, ask them to make them, focus, not just,
I have a very good experience with my student because the most of them in online class are, I mean, they're kids, and that the kids are really interested in writing something on the board. So, but because I'm working on the Zoom, I've asked them to just actually make their pen ready to annotate something, to just write something on the board. So they're always waiting for me to ask them something to write something on the board or on the PowerPoint that I've shared with them. So they are always, aware of the what's going on around them. So that whiteboard or kind of annotate pen is really helpful for me to just make them stay engaged in the classroom throughout the classroom. Actually, that's
So
my
true.
experience. So because I know that they are interested in writing something on the board or whiteboard or even on the slides that I share with them.
Oh, that's nice. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Constantly just asking them to do something. Like Zahra, write it on the board. Like Vianney, say, okay, what do you think about this? And then you ask someone else, do you want to read that again, that paragraph again? Okay, so do you have, and then call them by name, on and on. So they have to be alert in the class. So you need short variety activities, not a long one, because some of them are faster, sharp, just do it in 2 minutes, but the other ones needs 6 minutes. So what happened for that 4 minutes to the others? You're going to lose them. So you need short activities, but variety and different. Good. We have two environments in teaching online, synchronous and asynchronous. Have you ever heard of it? Do you have any ideas what's the difference synchronous learning and asynchronous learning?
Daniel
Synchronous
said
is right now, and asynchronous is when you do it at your own pace.
Good. Any other ideas?
For example, Daniel said that our Canvas platform is asynchronized. Everyone can do it with their own pace.
What about your classes? Think about your classes.
Right now, it is synchronized.
Synchronous, yeah.
Okay. So I'm saying, what about your own online classes? How can you have synchronous and asynchronous?
So doing our homework asynchronous and just having a live session with you asynchronous. So we can be all, but this happens to this I mean a few students that attend this live classes, not for other students. So it's a kind of hybrid of between these two options, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you very much. Good. About yourself, you have some sessions during the week with your students, which are synchronous learning. At a time, your students are in the class and you are in the class. Then you want to prepare extra material, okay? Authentic material, like videos related to the objectives of your course, listening, reading, maybe some activities to do, maybe put a discussion, brainstorming topic, okay? And students come and read and write and put their notes, and you need it. That's asynchronous environment. And definitely you need it. It's impossible to learn a language, but two classes for 90 minutes, two times only
Exactly.
during the week. It's impossible. It's impossible. Even if they learn some parts of the language like grammar, but they are not fluent. So you need to be in contact with your students during the course every day. So maybe every morning you just post them something. So they know at 10 o'clock every morning they will receive a post. It's not a very challenging activity, but they have a code and they have to think about it and write something. Or they have to find the related picture for lower level, related picture. So they need to think about that and search it, Google it. On the other hand, you're working on learning or learners' autonomy. Do you remember we talked about it? Give responsibility to your students. Let them understand they have responsibility for learning. They need to try. Okay? So when you give them an activity every day, but not very challenging, I mentioned it again, just an easy one. They get involved with the course all day. And it helps them to learn better because you increase the exposure to the language. And number two, they become more fluent. And number three, you look more professional. You look different. Okay? You're a teacher who cares for your students. So it has a very good impact on your student and also on the family. So it's good for your business as well. Okay? Somebody wants to say something, I guess. Anybody wants to say something? I was thinking that's it. No? Am I clear? Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay. For more engagement in the class, don't forget to use games. Gamiology in teaching is very important. We call it gamification. No matter how old your students are, they love games because it makes them to think. It's challenging. Okay? It makes them to think. Can I ask you guys to mute your microphone because it's noisy a little bit. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. And thinking about moving activities for children, also for young teenagers. It's hard for them to sit for 90 minutes, for 70 minutes. It's really hard. So moving activities, like I want you to go and bring something and show it to me. Turn on your webcam, bring your favorite dolls or favorite toys. Okay, now talk about your toys. Can you show it to the class? Turn on your webcam so they have to move and come back. I want you to draw something and then show it. So they start doing some physical activity. I want you to go and look outside through the window and come back and tell me what could you find on the streets. Just move short physical activity, moving activities, definitely for children and young teenagers. And knowing your audience, know your students, just know what they like. This is the very first step. So by knowing your audience, what you need to know for your audience, for your students, what do you need to know?
What they are interested in, and we can focus on that part more than other parts.
Their interests, what else?
Their expectations.
Their education is important too.
Yeah.
Bravo. What else?
Understanding or no?
They
The
need
level,
to,
yes, yes, of course.
but they need to learn. I mean, their needs to learn English
Exactly.
language.
What is the, yeah, what are their needs? Why they are here? Why they're in your class? What are they looking for? And their hobbies. Also their hobbies. So in this way, you can extend the learning window. That's why we always said your lesson plan for different classes, even they are at the same level, are different. When I have a webinar with you guys, And the topic is exactly the same. It's completely, everything is completely different. But when I have a webinar with university students with the same topic, or with teachers for teaching English to children, it's completely different because their needs is different. So you cannot go with one plan, with one PowerPoint to all your classes. Even if they're all intermediate, the level is the same, but different plans because your students are different, their interests are different. In one class, you have to talk about video games because of the teenagers. In the other, you have to talk about environmental problems or city life because they're adults. In the other class, you have to tell stories and bring puppets because they're children. And in all three, we're talking about simple past. You know, the topic is the same, but students are different. So different planning. Other thing which is important for your online classes is how to, you know, now after 2 or 3 years, it's become much better. It really becomes much better. But basically, learning via technology is difficult for people still, but it's much better than 2 years ago. So they need to feel comfortable and make it easy for them, and make it very easy for them. You had a session before starting, that's fine. Then think, how can I introduce the activity to the students that they can understand it well? So how can you introduce an activity that, just to be sure, because in your face-to-face classes, you can even look at their faces, you understand that, hey, they got it, or still it's not very clear. What about your online classes? How can you check with your students when you
Ask.
introduce the activity?
Ask then.
Okay, if you ask them, do you have any questions? They're silent. They
Say
look at
no.
you. Any questions?
No, not yes, no questions. WH questions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How about,
exactly.
I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but it is true that at the end of the class, instructors will ask, do you have any questions? And we never have questions. Do you think it's a good idea if we said, hey guys, at the end of the class, I want each of you to have a question prepared for me?
Make them ask
Okay.
questions.
And then
Okay.
we can, I don't know, that can maybe help participation.
But maybe they just ask some irrelevant questions,
That's
to get
it.
rid
What
of
are
the
you going to
teacher.
have for dinner tonight?
Yeah, they are smart.
It happened. It happened. What if you ask another student to explain it? Okay. So what about your assignment? I want Tom to tell the class again. Come on, Tom. What are you going to do for the next time? So another student explain it. That's one way. Or ICQ, instruction checking questions. So are you going to write it in your notebook or to do it in a book? Are you going to explain it or you have to write something about it? You know? So instructions, checking questions. But definitely, when you want to introduce an activity, give them an example. Show them an example. You know, it's connections. So maybe at the time that you're explaining, something happened to the internet, weak internet, and they've lost their connection. They couldn't hear you well. Okay. But when you show them an example, so you give them time, more opportunities for their understanding. That works too. Even afterwards, after the class, in that asynchronous environment that you have with your students, put notes for them and upload an example. So again, they can go there and check everything. So that is it. Provide visual aid with the directions, examples. What about giving time to students for thinking or doing activity? How much time will you give to your students? Because it's online, so there's no control. Maybe they leave the class. So what would you do?
Probably just dividing the class into different chunks of time, like 10
Mm-hmm.
minutes
Mm-hmm.
for an
Okay.
activity or something.
Mhm.
It's
Good.
just like it is hard to be focused for so long.
That's true. So what do you think? What would you do?
In online class, so actually, no idea. Zahra, you have to say you have
Uh-huh.
experience.
It depends on the activity that they're going to do. So if they're going to write something, you know what? I use Padlets or Google Drives that I can see what they're doing. They're going to just write something, so they need to be hands-on always to just do something. So they can't, go somewhere and they are not doing anything. So, or if they're going to say something which make them be engaged, that's okay. But as far as you know, as far as I know, it depends on the activity. But I always give them, first of all, a few minutes for doing an activity, short activity actually, because it's longer than that. We can't control that one. So, but Padlet or working on Google, or even the slide that is going to be shared through Google Slide. So they should, this is so bad, but they should know that we are always monitoring them or supervising them, so they know that we are there. And I think it's worth to just make them or help them actually do their assignments or activity in the class. That's
Thank
what I
you.
do.
Yeah, that's very good. That works. I do believe that works. And the
Mhm.
important thing is you need to tell them how much time do they have, and it should be realistic. Okay, so they know they have 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. How much time they have? They should learn to plan for it. And using breakouts also help. So put 2, 2, 2 or 3, 3, 3 in different breakouts, and you can move to different breakouts and monitor and listen to your students. So we can say, for example, Nancy, I cannot hear you. So they know, oh, teacher comes to our breakouts and she's listening to us. Even you can help them, okay? Give them prompts, okay? Help them to correct. And also number three, I come to you, Zahra. And number three
Okay.
is what your friend said, Zahra said. You can open whiteboard or platform and it said, okay, divide it to three parts. And so you have 4 minutes to think, but I want to see your notes. Give them
Mhm.
access to write. So they have to write their notes. So you know, hey, they're working on it. Mhm. Yes, Zahra, please.
I have a question about the breakout rooms like Zoom, because there's actually Zoom platform is really great in just having that break room that we can actually assign some rules for the students to be in a group to talk or just work on their project. I wonder if, because you have worked so on some of the online platforms, do you know any other platforms which has
Yes, I'm
got?
going to tell you right now.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm going to
Thank
talk
you.
about it. Sure.
Okay.
But the important thing in your online classes, be brief. Activities should be short. Your explanation should be short. Be brief. Because there's no control on your student to sit and focus. So the activity should be interesting, different, engage them, asking them questions. I always said you spend much more energy in your online classes than your face-to-face classes. Many people think, oh, let's relax, you stay at home at your desk, but it's not. It's not. You need to prepare. You have to pay, I mean, lots of attention. You have to be more creative and you spend lots of time on it, for planning to teach online. Otherwise, you're going to lose your students. Mhm. If you want to have big impact, use big image. Small pictures is hard to understand. So maybe your PowerPoint is too long. Okay, Vianney, I got your message. So maybe your PowerPoint 68 slides. That's fine. But don't put small pictures in one slide. It's difficult for for the audience, for your students to understand what's going on. So use big pictures and a rubric. You need a scoring guide to evaluate your students. So you put their names, performance score. I even have it for you guys. You know, when last time I have it here. When last time you had a presentation demo, I wrote something for myself. So for next presentation that you can have next week, I know which part. Okay, I have to be more careful with this part or this point with Ida or with Vianney or with Aline. So you put notes for yourself. Give them marks, A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and explain to them why 1, why 2, why 3, why 4, why A, why B, why C, why D. Which are your indicators? Share your rubric with your students so they can, not with children. Children definitely with their parents, okay? So they understand how well they are improving. They understand their improvement in learning the language. So maybe every 2 weeks at midterm time, before final, it's up to you. Share the rubrics and explain everything. You have improved. For sure, you have improved. But look here, you have to work on these parts. So each student has a rubric. And you have a rubric of the class. For next term, if you work with an institute or if you work at school, you know, at the school, definitely you need a rubric as a teacher. So you give it to the next teacher, or you give it to the supervisor or the assistant at school. And they see, okay, what about the children? What about the students? How well they have learned, or which part they need to work? In the school, you have gatherings, teachers gathering. In many institutions, you have teachers gathering. You need your rubric to talk about it. So this is essential. And making PowerPoint. Are you good at making PowerPoint? Let me show it something for you guys. Give me a minute. You have some features here. File. So you can you click on it, and even you can search here for other templates, and then save as, print, share, and these things. Then home here. Zahra, if you use another features, let me know. Home, paste, cut, so you can choose it, copy it, then paste something else. The layout.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't.
Yes.
I can't see what you're sharing now. It's spinning, something spinning around.
Oh,
Maybe because of my
the
internet.
Yeah, we can see. I think it's your
Yeah.
internet.
Okay, it's
Oh,
come,
okay.
anyhow, it will come. So here, layout, you click on it, so it gives you options. How do you want to show it? You want it, what is your layout? With one space, with title and content, two content, comparison, only title, blank, or with caption, without caption. So layout, you choose it. How do you want to show? For each slide, it could be different. Even you can add section to it. Then here goes for the font. And here goes bullets. You want to change the bullets, what you like, or you want to have the numbers, for example. Which way to start. And here it talks about the pictures. So you want to insert pictures. You choose it from here. Happy face, for example. And then you can change the color. So you want it red, yellow, blue, what color you want to have. Here you have the options. The next part is insert. You can insert tables like here. Let me open another. So you can insert tables. How many row columns you want to have, it comes here. Even you have an option for draw table, add more. Also, you can insert pictures, online pictures. Pictures goes to your document or file that you have on your computer or laptop. Online, you can search it online. Shapes. Here again, you have shapes. When you click on it, then you can draw it. And then you can change it. For the color, you can change it, what color you like. Words, if you want to, for example, with this, you want to have text, see? Or with this one. So you can choose it. Different word art if you like to have. Design, so it's for, look, it gives you options. If you want to change the slides, different design, you can choose it here. Like that. So just click on it and everything goes back to what, but all the slides will change, not only that one. Even you can change the color here. If you click on here, you can change the color. Transition. Now see when I say how it shows. So here you choose. Do you want to fade, wipe it, split it, crash it, like this one? This is crash. Or fracture, or wind, drap, fall over, so, or this one blind. So it's up to you. Just make it different for your students to like it. And animation, so it goes like here. So it said I want each line fly like this. So you highlight it, or you just put your cursor on, then you say this one floats. This one split like this. This one, you have different options. Once. So it says, how do you want to animate? How do you want your slides? Each part of your slide comes. And a slideshow here said you can put it on a regular base from beginning to the end, so you give time. Each slide changes in 1 minute, in 2 minutes. But I usually put it mechanically. So I stop on it when I want, I change it. But here you have different choices how to show it. Spelling review talks about a spelling, or you're looking up for some words. And view goes, okay, do you want to have 2 slides together, 3 slides together, one by one, and then you want to zoom in something, change the directions. Okay, you got it? Anything you want to add, or any parts that you yourself have experienced? Nope. See how I showed it? So I use different animation. Zahra, you want to add anything?
Everything was clear. Thank you. It was good. It was great.
Oh, okay,
No,
because
thank
you work on that too. In the insert,
No.
you know, when I want to put pictures like this, I choose
Yeah, picture and
insert.
video. You can add a video as well. You can just use the short line to just for just adding a video to just
That's
play
right.
while you're just present something.
I myself always download whatever I want and put it in a file. Then I
No,
instead
yeah,
of
download.
okay.
Yeah, download, and you can just use that option for a video, and you can bring it to your slide. And while you're teaching, you can just play while you're teaching.
Yes,
You don't
that's
need to
right.
go back to your file and download. Just play something. So it
That's
you know
right.
it saves your time.
So what I do, because sometimes some problems with the internet, there is an option, as Zahra said, you just have the link and click on it and it shows up. Okay. But what I always do, I download whatever I need in a file, then insert it to my PowerPoint. Okay.
No, yeah,
Insert it in my
I meant
PowerPoint.
that one. I meant that one. Yeah,
Yes.
I meant that
So in
one.
this
That
way,
one. That.
it is more safe. It's more
Mhm.
safe. If even it's there's
Safer.
a cut up, yeah, on the internet, so but still you don't have problems. Good. Flipping classroom is what I was talking about to you for asynchronous. So sometimes you said to your student, I will send your assignment on Lino. I will send your assignment on Plaid. I will email it to you. That is flipping. When you want to your students study something before coming to the class, you email it to them or upload it on a site or anywhere that they have the link to check it out. Or maybe after your class. Okay? Extra reading, extra listening. We call it flipped classroom. It means even they are at home, it's look like they're still in the class. They're in connection with their teacher. I told you the other time, when I see the reading is very difficult for my students, I find something easier, or I email them it depends to the level, of course. When they are studying IELTS, I email them the words with the definitions, the new word with the definitions before coming to the class. So they study, when they come to the class, they have ideas, they can participate in discussions. Also, what you can do is using different apps online to get them prepared. Maps, it's really helpful. When even for beginners, even for starter level, I usually never ask them to talk about your home or your bedroom. Maybe while I'm teaching, I ask them these questions. But otherwise, you see, they just copy. They just copy from each other. So you want them to be more creative? I said, okay, download maps of the world or the part that you, or the continent that you like. Find your favorite city or search for it. Once I remember one of my students find an island in Japan. I thought I want to live there. And I said, okay, now talk about your dream house in that island in Japan. Then they share, and she shared the map with us. Okay. And she was talking, and it was very interesting. So that is creativity for your online classes. They access to the internet. They access to the Google. So easily they can make their assignment different than just writing or typing and email it to you. So you can give them time. Okay, it's your time to talk about your assignment. Use Google Map. Find your dream city and dream house. And they share it with you. You can give them options to share. Another one is city guide apps, which is very easy. You just download city guide apps. Anywhere in the world you go, you can find the best restaurants, the best hotels, sightseeing, tourist attractions, and anywhere. So they can download it and said, I want you to plan a day trip in Rome. They have never been in Rome, but they can find it on the city guide apps. So what attractions to see, what tour to go on, where to stay, where to eat out, and they find it. Don't you think it's much better than talking about your own city all the time? especially when all the students, just imagine all the students live in Toronto. So they say the same thing, don't you think? Well, when you give them options, they become more creative. And it's nice for the class too. Kahoot is the other one. Are you familiar with the Kahoot? No? So let me share. Yes, please.
Yeah, I had experience when I was in the US. Yeah, but you know the problem with the speed. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Okay, guys, this
So
is Kahoot.
actually, it's
Okay?
filtered from the US. You know, because we
Oh.
are on the sanction. Because yeah.
Guys, look at Kahoot here. So it is kahoot.com. Kahoot.com. So it talks about different activities. And when you come here, you can create Kahoot for home, for school, for your class. So you can make school, how to use Kahoot in school, learning apps. So these are the different learning apps that you can use for kids, for family, for your student, how old they're, for what age they are. It is very
But they are not
popular
free,
in
are
North. Yeah, it's very
they are
popular
not
in
free,
North. No,
are
you
they?
have free options too. But when you want to make
Yeah,
it
free option.
professional,
But for
yes.
for the courses, we need to pay.
No, for the courses, yes, but you want to make it for yourself. Get it started today, so
Uh-huh.
you can make it for yourself. You can make your own plan, okay?
Mhm.
And this is for work and study group. For academy, definitely you have to pay. So you can make your own quizzes, okay? Create Kahoot, and you can make your quizzes. Then you share the link with your students. Your students click on it, the quiz bumps up, and they answer to the questions and say submit. You can receive all of them on your cell phone at a time, at a time. So it is fun. It is fun. And you have to see Kahoot at school, Kahoot at work, Kahoot at home. Kahoot Academy, this one definitely you have to pay at the very beginning. This is Kahoot is very popular in North America. Very popular. Other one is Bamboozle Games. Let me put this in the chat box. Give me a minute to chat. Okay. This is Bamboozle. You write, for example, past tense. Okay. Search for past tense. See regular, irregular past tense. Different activities, fun activities. It gives you idea. Even you can use this. Even you can use this. For example, irregular past tense. Play. And then say what kind of game you want to play. You can choose the one that you like. And then share with the students. The students click on it. Otherwise, here are the ideas. Pictures and the ideas. You can use it for your PowerPoint. You know, it gives you ideas. What else I have is Scratch. This is a Scratch. It's all games. Scratch.meet.edu. Different games how to practice. For parents, for educators, for developer, for my team. What about different whiteboard if you like to have? Miro. I have others too that I'm going to share with you too. These are free. So Miro is also, I'm going to show you in my PowerPoint. You sign up for free, then you have the whiteboard. And you can put your notes, pictures, everything on that, and then share the link with your students. Students can come come and whenever they like at their pace, put notes for you. So you just share a link. There is another one, lino.com. So what Lino is, it's free too. I haven't paid for it, and I have it for 5 years. Lino. So you create a canvas like this. I said TESOL February, for example. You can choose the background. For example, I use this background. Then comes here for my own private. No, everyone, you have to click yes.
I think I don't know. Is it my problem or I just see Kahoot on my screen, not others.
Okay.
Myro.
Okay, let me share it. Sure, sure. So that was Kahoot. That was game Bamboozle.
Didn't
Was
see
Kahoot,
that.
right?
Okay.
You couldn't see it. Oh.
Yeah,
So
I
here
couldn't
you
see. I
said
don't know. Zahra, did you see or Eileen? Maybe it was my problem.
Okay,
I can see
never mind. Okay, Myro.
couldn't see
This
it.
is Myro. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is Lino. So Lino, I put it in the chat box, the link. So you choose TESOL February, choose background here. Then you have to say everyone may post sticks. If it is for my own private, no one can see it. You have to click here. Everyone may post stickies. Create canvas. Now, let me share it with you guys. I want you, where is my, yes, where is my chat box? Okay, there you go. I want you to click on it. Please click on this link. Okay. I choose here one of the stickers and it said, how, I don't know, what have you learned from today's webinar in one sentence? Okay. Then I said post. It comes here. There's a hand. I take it and put it here. Now, guys, I want you to link, choose one of these stickers, type something and post it. Click on the link in the chat box. Just, I want you to use this. Thank you for sharing your ideas. So how it works. So that's an asynchronous environment you can make with your student. Just share the link and say, I want your idea. Tell me about the answer to these questions. And everybody can see what the others have written. Good?
Yeah.
Do they need to be prepared for this one? So do they need to know about this platform or no? Just by clicking?
You share, click. Did you know about it? Nothing.
No.
You prepare everything yourself. You say, only I want you to click on it, choose one of the stickers, write, and then post. That's
Good.
it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Sure. TED Talk also, you can find very good material for speaking, for listening and discussion. But this is TED usually goes for advanced. I recommend TED because you can hear different accents. It's not all American, all British, different accent. That's good about it. Here I have different whiteboards. Okay, and they're all free. I'm gonna share the sites with you guys. So you can have, you just prepare everything for your students, just share the link and they can come and they can sign in, but you need to give permission for others. Okay, so you click, others can write on. And then they just open the site and write their answers or ideas. So those are the sites. I share it in the chat box. This is Myra. So in Miro, auto draw. This is the board that it gives to you and to your student. You share the link to your students. They click on it, then they write, they draw, they change the color. They change the color, or they can use different pictures. See, like this. Just by sharing the link, or give access asynchronous or synchronous at the time. You can use this. Google Classroom. Google Classroom. You know where to find Google? Let me share. Well, you know it when you open the Google search, yes, and share with the different options that you have here. Give me a minute. So here, when you open the Google page, Google Apps, there you go. So Google Meet, Gmail, Chat, Drive, Sheets, Google Docs. When you want to access to your documents, not only on your laptop, so put it on Google. And Google Classroom. Google Classroom here. You have different apps on it. But here is the Google Classroom. You get it? Where it is?
Yeah.
Good. So Google Classroom is another platform. Zoom, of course, which is very popular and easy. For limited time, it's free. Skype, but the only problem, Skype is free forever. But the only problem is there's no breakout rooms. So it's really good for your private classes. You can share everything. You can share everything and just screen and
How about
videos.
annotate? How about pen? Does it have any pen? To write on
You can share on Google Doc. You have to share it on Google Doc with them.
Oh, okay.
Big Blue Button. Big Blue Button also, but there's a limitation. Otherwise, you have to pay for it. Big Blue Button, it has breakouts and everything, all whiteboard, links and everything. I mean, all options it has. And
Adobe Connect.
Adobe Connect, yes, Adobe Connect. Adobe Connect, you know, is costly. You have to pay it from the very beginning.
Yeah, but they're not good at all.
It depends. It depends. I know some parts.
If someone has worked with Zoom, they're not able to work with those applications.
Yes.
I know, because Zoom is perfect.
Yes,
perfect one.
it's very, it's user friendly. You're right. Willdice.com is another activity that you can have it. You just download it, willdice.com. It gives you option to put on different activities or questions. Then you give access to your students. They click on it, and then the question comes up. For example, talk about your old friend. So they start talking, or answer to these questions, or do this, do that. It's like a will dice, you know. It's fun. Okay, we talked about Lino with you guys. So for homework, think about what the students can do in their own time. To help them, you need a synchronous environment. You need somewhere that students ask questions. WhatsApp and social media doesn't work. Just imagine you have 5 classes and in each class 10 students, 50 different people send you messages. How can we control it? It's impossible. But with 5 links, 1 link for each class, you can check very easily. Okay? Give them chance to be in contact with their teacher. Video recording, it's fun for all students. Ask them to record something and explain. Just, you know, cell phone is something they never get detached. So it's always with them. I want you this time you go to the coffee shop, just record around yourself and explain what can you see. This one is when it goes to start there. I want you to record something which is a big challenge of your community, of your local area. They're recording and explain. And next time we're going to have a discussion in the class about it. Just share your recording. There's a site, Screencastify. This is free too. You can edit your videos in a Screencastify. You can edit your video and even add songs, music, different pictures. Screencastify. And it's free. Edpuzzle, I guess Zahra said use Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is also fun. You can choose a video and you can make different platform for your students, which is free. ESL Kid Stuff. There are lots of resources for English teachers that teach kids. Even you can see other teachers' lesson plans, flashcards, worksheets, songs, readings, games. I don't want you to copy, but even if you use them, just put the reference. But it gives you ideas, you know? When you see the other work, even you yourself, guys, share your ideas with your friends. So while you're sharing ideas, it just brings new ideas for yourself. This one, Teach This, it's for teenagers and adults. Fun and engaging ESL activities, games, worksheets, functions, different activities you can find here. Teach This. What I say here is all free. You're not going to pay for it. And ESL games that I show it to you. And this is for kids and young teenagers, even for teenagers. You can find quizzes, videos, games, topics to download and share with your students. A map that I could talk to you about it, but there is a route. Don't forget, we have the process. Before a lesson, starting lesson, how do you familiarize yourself and your students with the material? Then how do you lead into the activity in the class? How do you set up an activity? How do you give your instructions? Make it clear, ask questions, put them in groups. While you're running the activity, monitor them, let them have time to share ideas in the breakouts. And then how do you get the feedback? Close the activity and write your rubrics for yourself, to keep it for yourself and know what should you do for the next sessions. And give feedback to your students. Finally, post activity, follow-up activity. What should they do at home? And where, if they have, share a link with them. If they have any question, where can they find you? Don't talk too much on your online classes. Teaching talking time, it's less than student talking time. They're going to leave the class, you know? Give them opportunity to talk. Starting time, always important. How do you start it energetically? Think about games. Asking them to share their experience. What have you done last weekend? Okay, share it with us. Each one of you, 2 minutes. Maybe one student start talking for 5 minutes. No, 2 minutes only. So start energetically, move up activities, especially for children, or different kinds of short activities, and finish on a high tone. On a high note. So for adults, let them know. So today you have learned blah, 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 blah. For parents, send an email. Today they have learned this. So they know, they feel satisfied. Oh, today I've learned this. Today you have familiar with different kinds of sites. You know how to prepare different environments for your students. Now you have idea different platform you can use for your online students. And I always talk about their interests: food, animal, jobs, sport, weather, art, these things that they like, their favorites, movies. Everybody likes movies.
Excuse me.
Or, yes, please.
These parts we will be talk to close class the session the timing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, when you have the class, definitely the time is limited. So you have to plan for 1 hour or 70 minutes or 90 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
Praise your students. Show, and the other time I'll show you this. I always use my images, even for my IELTS classes. Good job. Or, no, this one is good for the good job. This one, I don't understand it, what you're saying. When they don't do their activity and say, okay, this is me today. Yeah. What is the other one for the good job? I have the other one that with the smiley face. There you go. So when they do it, I say, oh, good job. Use different things. Just be different. Give them feedback. We talk about giving feedback. Positive. You did it this time. You really improved. I could see you use proper punctuation. Then constructive criticism. I check your writing, but it's still a problem with prepositions. So I want you to study this article, or I send you in some exercises to do. And study page 21. I'm sure you will get much, much better. So feedback. Remember, in our online classes, we are distant, but that doesn't mean we cannot be close. Using internet, social media, just imagine yourself. You have friends in Japan, you have friends in Canada, you have friends in Middle East and Asia, but still you work together. So even for your students, maybe they are from different parts of the world, but you have it in one class and you have opportunities to give them access, to give them access to all the material. And you can prepare all the material for them just by using a link. So collaboration, don't forget, it's the winning key. Your course is over, but still, all of you are teaching. So preserve the link, okay? So you have the link and just share your ideas, share your experience with your friends and get ideas. Good? Thank you very much. Do you have any questions? It's time to ask.
No. Good. I like it.
You mentioned before you will teach us for the broke out the room.